Good morning. We're going to talk this morning to Giorgio Baroni about his first book, Dante's Arm. Good morning, Giorgio.
Good morning, Jane.
Tell us why you started to write this book. Tell us how it came about.
Dante's Arm came about through different circumstances. One of those was I was telling a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, a story about a woman from Argentina who had met two different dictators. Since she was from Argentina, I thought perhaps she met Perón, but instead she told me that she had met Hitler and Mussolini. But my friend Suzanne, she said to me, well, if I were you, I would write your story because it sounds much more interesting than that. And so that is how I started to write Dante's Arm. But then another very good friend of mine, Alison, suggested for me to take writing classes. And as a matter of fact, she was taking one and she said to me, why don't you take it with me? It'll help you to improve your writing.
Will you tell us a little about the narrative? Tell us about the story and what's in store for us as a reader.
I drew the stories of Dante's Arm from my experiences in Africa. It had started in the 1970s, and I, of course, had to embellish a lot of it, trying to keep the originality of the place intact. The nicest things about writing a novel, it is that I could let my imagination free, allowing me to use my desires, my dream to come true. In Livio Maggi's life, my protagonist, I was able to get Livio Maggi to indulge in appetites that he never knew existed, and to fulfill all his hidden desires.
The wonderful thing about that answer is that what you're telling us is that you live in the world of the imagination, where all good writers and all good artists live. And I know enough about you to know that you're also a very good artist. Tell us more about your imagination. Tell us how you created this book.
Dante's Arm started 10 years ago.
Was it that long ago?
That long ago. Actually, maybe a little longer than that.
Wow.
It took me a long time because, to try to make it, from a memoir, it became, a novel. That separation was very, very hard to do. I needed to marry the two stories together, though the hard part was to restructure the entire book. So I put it on the floor and took apart all the chapters, one by one, until I could see that they made sense. In inserting new narrative, I found that my voice was stronger, better, and surprising, more interesting.
Well, it's a very hard way to learn that you have a strong voice.
Right, yes.
But I think as writers, we all need to learn that we have a very original voice of our own and stay with it.
Yes, yes,
and listen
exactly.
to it.
Yes, yes.
And write from it. Dante's Arm is a wonderful read. I highly recommend it, but I'd like to know what's coming next.
What's coming next? Well, I have two books. One, it's titled Mosaic Face, which we are currently working in designing the cover. It's a story of rebirth. And the third one is actually called Rented Love, but this one, it's still in the making.
I recommend that you read Dante's Arm. It's full of intrigue, sex, adventure, and passion, wealth, decadence, power and greed. The basis for a wonderful novel to read soon. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.